Hello and welcome to the National Letter of Intent Press Conference here at San Jose State University, presented by Nissan. It's a very exciting day here at San Jose State as the Spartan signing class for the 2019 season is ready to go and concluded. If you'd like to get all the information, some video, bio information, roster information, sjsuspartans.com has all you need about every player here in the signing class this season. Also, I do want to remind everybody that there is a signing day celebration this evening up on main campus at the Student Union Ballroom. You can register for that event still at giving.sjsu.edu/signing day. We'd love to see you up there for a great event here tonight. We will have Coach Brennan here in a few moments and also one of the signees for San Jose State's class. But do want to remind everybody that sjsuspartans.com is your source for all the information about this signing class. So let's welcome in San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan.
Good afternoon. This is a really exciting day for us. And it's a little bit different now with the early signing day in December, and then, kind of the second signing day, first week of February. We've seen it really change kind of the recruiting landscape, really change the process for our recruits. But we're excited about the guys that have joined us. And I really think this is going to be a group of young men joining our program that, our fans and our alums and our students are going to enjoy watching play. I think there's a good balance of kind of junior college, grad transfer, and high school kids. We're always looking for that delicate balance of the right pieces to the puzzle in terms of how they fit our current roster, how they can impact either immediately or down the road. I firmly believe that we'll always be a developmental program where we are trying to help young men grow and develop on and off the field. And in this class we're able to really give us a boost with some upperclassmen via the grad transfer stuff, and then also some junior college players that I think will really have a good impact on our roster. So we're excited. It's a great day. We've got a huge event tonight that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of alums and donors and football alumni are going to be joining us, and our coaching staff and our families. And we're going to celebrate all the hard work of this last calendar year of recruiting these young men, and all the time and the hours and the effort that goes into introducing them to San Jose State and then getting them here on our campus. So we can't wait to announce these young men and to talk about their impact. And in a minute, you guys are going to hear from Quinn and Alex, two of the grad transfers, who we are just thrilled that they're here. Just quality young men. I think, you might need a bigger camera angle when Quinn takes the podium. He's a lot bigger than me, but he's excited to be here. He's going to be a great addition to our offensive line. He's already here working out with our team and seems to be getting into the mix with the players and enjoying himself. So I'll take some questions.
Coach, the Spartans trailed in rushing S&P plus an opportunity rate, but Tyler Nevins is a different figure. He has been leading the backfield and showing a good amount of ability to be a grinder. Do you feel like the Spartan running game has nowhere to go but up?
Absolutely, and obviously, Quinn and Scott Breslin and Jelani will be guys that we hope can give us a boost. We're returning some guys in the offensive line. It all starts there, right? Running the football, throwing the football. It all starts with the offensive front, and so I'm hopeful. That was one of our reasons. We identified Quinn really early in the process, and we're excited that he kind of fell in love with California and Silicon Valley and the opportunities that San Jose State provides as an academic institution, and that's why he's here. But he's also here to play football and to help us grow and play better up front. The running back thing got a shot in the arm. A couple of the guys that we signed last year just enrolled with us at the mid-year, so you're going to see Kyrie Robinson from De La Salle, fantastic player, and also Lorenzo Burks from Carmichael Jesuit High School. And we really feel like those guys really give us a boost, along with ID Anderson from McClymonds High School. So those are all new, guys that weren't on our roster last year that we're really excited to add to that are going to help that running game. And then you're also going to, I think we're going to see just the maturing process for Tyler Nevins and Dejon Packer. And there's some other, young men in that running back room. We feel like that's a really strong position group for us. And we're going to have a good mix of maturity and youth. And so we're going to see, throw that all together and see if we can't run the football better. We have to run the football better to compete in this conference. Hi.
Do you see these new recruits filling or having the potential to fill the spots of the graduating players?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think in terms of the offensive line, we're looking for, the upperclassmen, Quinn and Breslin to step in and compete right away. I mean, that's kind of an area of emphasis for us and was something that we targeted in the recruiting process. Some of the players that we lost, I think, are hard to replace. When you're talking about someone like Josh Oliver or, Boogie or Bryson or Dakari. And so part of that is, Chad Earl, we signed as a corner, junior college corner from East Los Angeles College. Bobby Godinez was the head coach there, is the head coach there. He was playing when I was an assistant coach here back in 2005. So it was awesome to get reconnected with him and keep that Spartan bloodline flowing. And then also, up front, I think we have a really young group of defensive linemen that's growing and maturing. Is going to be some really good players, guys that played as, true freshmen, redshirt freshmen last year, that we think, will grow into something really special and help us, help mitigate the loss of Boogie and Bryson, who were so impactful, on the defensive front. So, and then with Josh, we're really excited about Dominic Mazzotti. If you watch his highlight tape, it's all at quarterback, and it looks like he's ripping off a 50-yard run every time you turn the tape on. He's a big athletic kid. He's really unique. He's 6'4.5". He's 235 pounds. He runs a 400 meters, right? That's just that'd be a good time for a receiver. Now we have a tight end that runs like that. So we're really excited about him. And then also a guy who was on our roster last year, Derek Deese, we were able to redshirt him, which was fantastic because Josh was playing really well and Billy Humphries was playing really well. And so, Derek is one of those guys. He was a receiver in high school and junior college, and then he kind of keeps growing. And we kind of projected him as a tight end, but he's a kid that we put on scholarship at the mid-year, and we're expecting big things from. And with the new redshirt rule, he was able to play a little bit last year and get his feet wet. So Derek has 2 more years too. So we're feeling good about the guys that we added to the group. I think in the recruiting process, you're always looking for how they fit your program, not just on the field, but off the field. And we're looking for guys that come from programs that are used to winning, that understand what it takes to win, the time and the effort and the detail, and that part of understanding that part of the process. And then we also got some of that with the grad transfers who have been in college football programs and played in big games and understand what it takes to compete at the highest level. So I'm really excited about what we're going to get from these guys.
Coach, better health, that's an obvious priority for the current roster. Just talk about a few other solutions to continue turning potential into production.
Well, I think Josh Love demonstrated that when he's healthy, he can be a really effective quarterback. And so, a big part of, I kind of keep coming back to that offensive line, but one of those things in terms of our offensive production is being able to run the football better, but also protecting the quarterback better so that he can stay healthy and on his feet. And that's a challenge because in this conference, you're going to play against good defense. Last year in our non-conference, we played against really good players, really good teams. And so that's something that we're going to have to be ready for. But I think the guys that we've added, along with the kind of the maturing process of, Troy Kowalski and Jack Snyder and Kyle Hoppy and those guys that continue to grow and develop. Jaime Navarro, there's some really good young talent in the offensive line, mixed in with the new guys that we're adding. So I think that'll help that production.
Coach, so the mix of the younger and older players can help improve the team, just as long as they stay healthy and are willing to put in the work. Is the youth movement still important in this program?
Absolutely. I think that there's a real delicate balance there, and a real delicate balance with how you build your roster. And obviously, there was an emphasis on us on maturing, but then the last 2 years, we've also seen a lot of young players contribute on a significant level. And, the best thing about freshmen is that they become sophomores, and sophomores become juniors. And you hope that those reps that they get in the games will start to accrue and stack, and that they'll all be learning experiences for them, and that they'll be better because they played at a young age in the program in some tough moments. And so that the next time they're in that moment, they're more prepared to handle it. and more prepared to attack that challenge when they're confronted with it. This offseason has been fantastic so far. Coach Uribe and his staff are really pushing our team. We've had great morning workouts with the guys, lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm, lots of detail and discipline built into our process of the offseason, because this is the time when you build your football team. This is your time when your team develops its chemistry and its brotherhood, and this is by putting in that hard work and all that effort together collectively, that forms the bond that makes them hard to break when you get out there on Saturdays in the fall.
How did San Jose State identify Quinn?
That started with Coach Bernardi when Quinn was coming out of high school. Quinn went and camped at the University of Oregon, correct? I think I have the story right.
Didn't camp, but I was in contact.
Oh, unofficial visit, or? Yeah, okay. And so Joe was aware of it then. And then with the new transfer portal, right, that was when his name came up on that. Then all of a sudden that kind of started the process again. And so there was a little bit of familiarity between Quinn and Joe, which was really important. We had a great visit. Quinn and his mom came out here and spent a weekend with us, and I think we did a good job showing him, what this experience can be for him, both, athletically, but even more so academically, and Silicon Valley, and what San Jose State as an institution has to offer him beyond just the football piece. And then there was an epic moment. Quinn called me and told me he was coming, but this was after like a 4-hour food court session with Joe Bernardi in the Mall of America, and Quinn was laughing because he said Joe was so nervous about what Quinn was going to do, and I think Quinn kind of knew what he was going to do, but maybe he was keeping Joe on pins and needles for a little bit, which I find pretty clever. But it was awesome to get that phone call from him and to know that he wanted to be a part of this. And I think that's a real testimony to the assistant coaches, the time and effort they put in the recruiting process. And then Quinn can tell you better, but also our players, right? Our players are a big part of the recruiting process, and they're the ones that have to convey to these recruits that they believe in what we're doing. They believe in the work that's happening. They believe in the coaching staff. They believe in San Jose State University, and I think they did a good job of that with Quinn.
Any spots that you were looking to recruit that you didn't quite fill?
That is a good question. So I think a lot of our fans or people that are really paying attention will see that we signed a lower number, like not the full 25. And part of that was because we added some gray shirt candidates or some guys that count in this recruiting class kind of going forward. So there was 3 players, I think Dwayne, Christian Webb, Chance LaChapelle, that came in last fall that count in this recruiting class, who are all, played a little bit last year. I mean, Christian and Dwayne played a significant role. Christian in the kicking game and Dwayne on the D line, and then Chance got some chances to play. We were still able to redshirt Chance, which is what we were hoping to do. And then on top of that, we also, the players that we pushed forward into this class that were signed a year ago, who are really good players, that are counting against the scholarship total from this year. And that's Nick Nash and Kyrie Robinson and Lorenzo Burks, Charlie Bostic. So, some of the higher profile kids that we signed a year ago came now. And some of that was injury, some of that was other stuff. But the timing works out great for us because they're a little bit more mature, they're a little bit more ready, and then they're going to have spring practice and a full off season to get ready for the season, instead of getting in here July or August and all of a sudden, school starts and the first game's here, and they're feeling like they're drinking out of a fire hose. They're going to be able to kind of ease their way into some of that, which I think will be beneficial for them and for us.
Coach, I'm just wondering, what are some things the recruits could bring to the table that fans may not know about?
That's a good question. The fans may not know about them. Well, I think we mentioned, the track prowess of Dominic Mazzotti. Jackson is a big-time swimmer, which you wouldn't guess that from a tight end football player, but he's a totally legit swimmer. There's an interesting mix of guys and how they fit here. Let's see, Isaiah Holiness, his tape is, you see a little bit more running back and kick returner, but he also has plays at wideout, and we're expecting him to be kind of a crossover guy for us, a little bit in the backfield, some wide receiver, kick returner. He's dynamic that way. Malachi Miller, I don't know if everybody knows, but that is Coach Carter's stepson. which I think is another real tribute to the staff, to not just Coach Carter because he's on our staff, but really to Coach Cummings and Coach McGiven and everyone else. It has built a relationship where and sees the progress, right? Because Coach Carter knows the ins and outs of this program, and he wouldn't have his son, join the program if he didn't really believe in what was happening here. And so that's been really positive. He's a big 6'4" kid. He's got this big body that he's going to grow into. He's kind of a monster wide receiver that we're really excited about. He's a little young still, so that he needs to grow into that big body with those long levers. Let's see, what else? Jamar Simpson, there's a great video on YouTube of him and Adoree Jackson at the USC camp or at the opening, and they were having the fastest man competition. And Adoree he didn't bet, but he said, I think this guy has it. And so there are all these fastest man competitions at the end of these camps all over Southern California, and Jamar Simpson won every single one. And he caught our eye. We were working at the USC camp. We were there, and he was really impressive, running routes and catching the football and making plays. And so he immediately caught my attention and Coach Cummings' attention, and then the fastest man came, and he dusted everybody. And so we knew his speed was legitimate. And so, that's always something that you're looking for at the wide receiver position, right? Is what kind of speed does he have? Does he carry real speed? Is it his dad clocking his 40 time, or is it, a legitimate track time? And so Jamar's one of those guys that's really, really exciting that way. Let's see, who else? Natano Woods is a really interesting kid. His high school coach played for Terry Malley at Santa Clara a few years back, and he's a huge 6'6", 245-pound kid with a big arm. He's a great athlete, so we're really excited about Natano. I think there's so many kids in this class that we're excited about, and what their impact will be kind of hard to say until we actually get them here and get to start working with them.
So you just received a donation, to the anonymous donation. Do you think that this donation, towards the locker rooms, will it help with future recruiting efforts?
I absolutely think it's a big deal, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit tonight at this event. But when you come down here and you're on South Campus and you see, Corrette and what a nice building that is. You see our study hall, the Gadway. You're in the Simpkins Center. You're in the Gold Room. I think we've done a great job in the last 2 years upgrading this stuff and making it into a really good space, and the locker room was kind of the final piece that hadn't been upgraded. It's the same locker room almost to a T that was here when I started coaching here in 2005. And so it's really, the chance to upgrade that space. And it's interesting, when we met with the donors, they were saying, okay, the football building, you guys are making great progress towards that, and that's all good. But even if you had all the money for that building, it's going to take a year or two, 18 months to get that thing built. Well, you need something that's going to have a positive impact on your recruiting process right now. What is that? And so it was the locker room. And so we walked them through there. We showed them some of our competition locker room. Hey, this is what we're recruiting against in terms of the space their players are in versus the space our players are in. And then the other stuff that's happened down here that has been incredible is when you look at the golf facility or the new soccer field or the new tennis facility or the new softball field. There's so many exciting things that we are starting. The South Campus is starting to become a really good-looking, high-class athletics facility. And so that locker room piece is just going to be another part of it. It's going to be fantastic.
What was it like recruiting Alex Gallen?
What's that?
Alex Gallen.
Oh, Alex was great. He is a really smart kid. He's from California. He's really confident and comfortable with who he is, which you like in a punter and a kicker, right? You want those guys to be confident and know. And we're out there doing our morning workout, and I was kind of giving him a hard time. And I said, "Are you ready for this?" He's like, "This is nothing," and he killed it. He's in great shape, and he really attacked it. So it's pretty exciting. To have a player like that who's been in big games and is kicked under duress, and just lots of times when you're recruiting a kid from high school, you don't know how he's going to handle that. And the other guy that I really need to mention is one of the really highlight players in this recruiting class is Alec Trujillo, and He's the quarterback from San Joaquin Memorial. He's just a fantastic player. In his career, he's thrown for over 10,000 yards. This year, senior year, completed over 70% of his passes. They lost in the state championship game to another freshman that's here, Stan Livingston. So I guess that's going to be one of those things for the rest of their lives they're probably going to go back and forth on. But we're really excited about Alec. Right down the street in Fresno and playing at a great program like San Joaquin. So getting him here, we can't wait. He's just a football junkie. He loves it. He's already learning the offense. He's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. The man, the myth, the legend. Now, Quinn is not real excited about coming up here, but I'm certain he's going to do a fantastic job because he's going to get interviewed a lot. Interviewed a lot this season, interviewed a lot after that. So, Quinn Osland, come on up. I'm out. I'm done. You got this. Go get him.
Quinn, why don't you maybe just give us a brief overview of your football career?
Hi, I'm Quinn Osland, and so my football career started back when I was just a little kid in 3rd grade, and then that translated into going to a local high school in Springfield, Illinois, called Sacred Heart Griffin, and it's a really good football program. We fortunate enough to win 2 state championships there, and then that translated into my recruiting process, where I was fortunate enough to have a lot of opportunities, and I chose to go to the University of Minnesota and had a lot of fun there, met a lot of great people, developed a lot of great relationships, and I think that helped me grow into who I am now, that entire process, and then looking for new opportunity and a great place to play. I chose to grad transfer here after this past season at Minnesota.
Quinn, welcome to San Jose State. So what was it like playing the Big Ten while at Minnesota?
It was a lot of fun playing the Big Ten, being at all those incredible stadiums and the different types of atmospheres was an experience unlike any other. And I think it's the same amongst all of college football. The feeling you get when you go on that field in front of all those people and having that preparation that goes into it, it's just a feeling that's unlike any other feeling.
Sorry. So what do you see SJSU giving you in terms of your time here now that you've committed?
So visiting here, it struck my interest, one, because I knew Coach Bernardi, obviously, from recruiting, so that helped a lot. And then I've always kind of had a love for the Bay Area, visiting here a couple of times for recruiting in high school. I visited Cal a couple of times and was able to, see San Francisco Bay Area and be in Berkeley and kind of have an idea of what it's like out here. So with that being said, it sparked my interest, and I knew that being in San Jose in the Silicon Valley, there's going to be, limitless opportunities outside of football. So knowing that I had the chance to play here one last year and give it my all, and also having that too, the limitless opportunities in business and potential to grow in so many ways, I found that it was going to be the best place for me.
What was your most exciting moment in your college football?
I would say that, every time I had the opportunity to step on that field. So, every time, there was no time where I was like, man, I don't really want to do this. Every time it was like, this is the real deal. This is a lot of fun. So anytime I had an opportunity to play football at this level, I loved it and enjoyed it, and those were all my favorite moments.
So Quinn, being an O-line candidate, are you looking forward to competing for a position out there?
Yeah, absolutely. I love competition. I love developing relationships within that competition with the guys alongside me, and the entire process that goes into playing football and practicing football. So I look forward to it all.
Quinn, what was it like spending so much time in the Mall of America with Coach Bernardi?
It wasn't as bad as you'd think. It was, we got some food and we relaxed and just talked life, talked football for a few hours. And I had him pretty anxious from what I could see, from what I thought, and pretty nervous about what I was going to do. But I think the whole time I was sitting there in that cafeteria at the Mall of America, I had my mind made up. I just had a few more steps I had to go through to, you know, be able to tell him and tell you guys that I was ready to make that decision.
All right, thanks very much, Quinn. We do have another graduate transfer, one of the signees here today as well. Just walked in, and we're going to bring you up to the podium as well. It's Alex Galland, who is a transfer, a punter from Yale University. Come on up.
Awesome.
Hi, Alex. Just to start things off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your football background?
Sure. So I'm originally from Bakersfield, California. It's about 3 hours south of here. Pretty good spot. Started playing football in about 8th grade, and originally was playing wide receiver and defensive end, and was probably a little too small to make that work. So sort of focused. I'd always played soccer as a kid, so started to specialize in the punting and kicking part of things. Went to all the camps, got ranked and all that. It's a really unique landscape for kickers and punters looking to get recruited for college. Ended up going across the country to Yale for the first, for my undergraduate degree, and then ended up still had that last year of eligibility, so started looking for places to go. Ideally wanted to come back to the West Coast, which is, as everyone knows, the best coast, and so got to talking with San Jose State and really never looked back.
Hey, Alex, welcome to San Jose State first off. You're listed as a punter. Are you planning to be a punter and a place kicker while here?
So we're going to play that one by ear, I guess. I did do the field goals for the last 3 years at Yale. I'm definitely better as a punter. If I were to categorize myself, I would definitely claim to be a punter. But, you know, if a field goal needs to be kicked, I'll go kick it.
Hi, Alex. So Coach said that you lost a game to Stan Livingstone, the championship game to Stan Livingstone. How do you feel about playing? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry.
No worries, no worries.
I just want to know what you're looking forward to most with being on this team.
Well, so first of all, I love the area, just what I've seen so far. Beautiful area. Obviously, I mean, it's California. The weather's awesome. I'm a big outdoorsy guy, so anything involving water, hiking, all that kind of outdoorsy stuff, absolutely love that. So I'm really looking forward to exploring the outside area. As far as the actual school and the program, I think there's a really young and energetic coaching staff. I think that there's a lot of just good people in this program. As you start to talk to the guys and talk to the coaches, I think that the record on paper from last year really doesn't indicate all the different pieces that we have. I think once we put all those pieces together on the field in this coming season, I think you're going to see a big difference. So I think it's really exciting to be able to enter this program as it's on that upward trajectory, where I could actually feel like I made a big impact on a program rather than just go to some place where they're already good and never punt and not really contribute much. You know what I mean?
So what was Ivy League football like, and what was the rivalry between Yale and Harvard?
So that's a good question. So Ivy League football is almost identical to any other FCS program, other than the lack of scholarships, and there's a few more constraints on when practices can happen and things like that. But I actually wrote an op-ed about this a while back. It's so competitive, way more competitive than any other conference I've ever seen. When we won the Ivy League championship, it was week 9 of a 10-week season, and we were talking about a 7-way tie. Like, that's how close together all the different teams were. So to be able to have won that championship was just really surreal, because it's just so hard to set yourself apart from all these other teams, because they all have the same recruiting constraints and all the same issues in terms of like what they can provide for the players. So so they're all just so close together in terms of skill level. As far as the rivalry with Harvard, I managed to go 2-2 on that one. Lost that last one in Fenway. It was pretty heartbreaking for sure. but just getting to play in Fenway was pretty awesome. Those games were always sold out. They were always electric. My junior year was pretty exciting, just because we got to play them in the bowl. It was all full. You know, when you have that big of a crowd, you can feel the sound like in your body. So that was really exciting, getting to play those huge games.
So, what did you get your degree in at Yale, and also what are you planning to get your master's here at San Jose State?
Sure. So my undergraduate degree was a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and material science, and my master's degree here will be in public administration. So with that, in the past I've worked oil and gas, I've worked aerospace in previous internships, but looking with the public administration master's to do something in the way of community building, maybe urban planning, some sort of water resources. There's a lot of things that engineers do in the public sector, and as far as benefiting the public good, creating value in that way, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
I understand that you were in the Yale band, and was wondering how was, being in that.
So yes, the Yale Precision Marching Band, which is not very precise and doesn't do much marching. I was a member of that for all but my freshman year. I played the trumpet, and just a bunch of goofy people that just love having fun. A lot of people will play a second instrument in that band. They all student arrange their own songs, so it's a lot of fun. Everyone's just there to hang out. We got to go to all the basketball games, all the hockey games, which was also really electric, just because the atmosphere they call it the Whale, but it's Ingles Rink, is really, really cool, and both hockey teams, men's and women's, are very competitive. So those games were a lot of fun to watch, and then basketball, they're always contending for titles. So getting to be around those games and play with all those people who I met some of my closest friends in the band, actually lived with, in a house off campus, lived with a bunch of members of the band my senior year there. So I got really close with all them. That was a lot of fun.
All right, thanks, Alex. That does it for us on this National Letter of Press Conference presented by Nissan. I know you got a chance to meet of the student athletes coming here on campus, but if you'd like to get all the bio information and some video as well, sjsuspartans.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.